have with me here today none other than Mike Hecker from Activated Water. Mike, come up here and tell us everything about activated. What the hell is activated water?
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. You're supposed to know because you're the man behind it.
Yeah, activated water is actually what nature does. When you go into a water source, and I had the pleasure of developing several sources in my life, when water gushes out of the source, it is activated by Mother Nature, by the force of mechanical forces of Mother Nature. But then when you bottle it in any plastic or glass bottle, it sort of dies away. And what we try to do is bring this back alive with some
Okay, Mike.
spoofy technology.
Yeah, and I usually call you the high voodoo priest of water. And
Sometimes,
yes,
yeah.
yeah, and I think it's actually correct. But by the way, did you bring any slides or you just brought
Yes,
the
I did.
You did. Okay,
Yes.
then I'll hand you the clicker.
Yes. So I'm supposed to go through slides, not
I
talk
know,
to,
I
no,
don't know.
not talk to
Yeah,
you.
I know. Yeah, you can talk to me. You can go through slides, whatever. As long
I'm
as we
just,
get the message through what the activated water is.
I'm just jealous of your outfit.
No, I'm jealous of your bottle, so I can change. You know, if you give me the bottle, I'll give you
We
my
can
shirt.
do that.
And I can stand here without a shirt for the rest of the afternoon.
Yeah.
You won't like that, but I could
Cool.
kill for that bottle.
Yeah, you don't know what's in it, right? Yeah.
I know what's in it. I know what's in
No,
it.
but it's really a pleasure to be here. I'm not sure you know, but it's my second hometown. And actually, my water story started here or my second chapter of water started here 7 years ago when I bought a Swedish Stockholm-based company. So I'm really happy to be on stage today and tell you what we do. So let's see if this works. Yeah. So BeWater, we are a technology-based company wanting to sublime your tap water. You'll see some things that we do already today on the market. By the way, you're drinking our water just behind at the bar. But then I'll talk to you about some of the technology things that are coming. So we are a Swiss-based company with a Swedish origin. We are operating in Switzerland, France, Nordics, and now recently launched Dubai, fast expanding. We have proprietary technology that actually improves tap water. And what I'll talk about today is how can we make the taste of water, and I know it sounds bizarre, water is water, but how can we make the taste of water even better? And it actually can be done. And we are quite only adopted by Michelin star restaurants in several countries. And when we come to the Michelin star restaurants with our technology, we see a huge interest. So basically what BeWater tries to do is solve three different problems that we have. We all know that the water industry is a huge polluter. There's over 100 billion tons of carbon footprint that are emitted by plastic bottles, also glass bottles that are being shipped all over the world. And this is a problem we need to solve, society needs to solve. Secondly, when you go to a gastronomy experience, you want an experience. You want a culinary experience, umami experience as well, but this goes as well with a good water experience, and that means today that most of the gastronomy and restaurants in general bring water from all over the world. In Dubai, the most important water on the market is San Pellegrino, and just think how much carbon footprint that represents. But consumers want an experience, so that's a problem to solve. How do you make the experience better with more sustainable water? And the third problem one needs to solve, even in very developed countries like we are in here today, when you drink tap water, you drink water that is of right quality, but actually not good enough. Because today you have micropollutants in the water, microplastics in the water, and as you do want to drink a lot of water for your hydration, you need to do something about it. And this is what BeWater tries to do. We have 4 pillars in our approach. First of all, no plastic, just water, improved through our systems. Drink local, because most cities big cities have solved the water problem in part of their development. So there is a good solution, even in desert cities like Dubai, or in Rome, or in New York. You talk to people and they like their local water better than anyone else. And so drink local is something that is really important. Hydration, we all know the doctor says drink 2 liters a day, but it's very difficult to drink 2 liters a day. So how do we make you drink more water is through availability of our systems, through making it chilled, still, and sparkling. This will make you drink more water. And the last thing that I will talk about today is how can water activate your senses, and this is our patented technology. So today our products are a system. It means you have under the counter a filter, the ultrafiltration filter, carbon active filter, that takes all the impurities away, microplastics, microbiological impurities, but keeps the minerals. So calcium, magnesium, and so on are kept in the water. And so this is the first thing. Then we have under-the-counter technology that refrigerates, chills, and sparkles the water. And on over-the-counter, fantastic-looking taps that make it a moment of consumption that is interesting. We are a totally committed brand into ensuring that the planet is preserved. So you need to walk the talk. And in our case, walking the talk means that we are part of 1% for the planet, which means we give 1% of our revenue to projects that are related to helping the planet. We have an amazing project here in the archipelago at an island called Uto, which I'm very proud about. Of course, we are part of fulfilling 6 of the 17 United Nations Sustainability Goals. And last but not least, and maybe the most difficult to achieve, is our B Corp certification, which is really making sure that your responsibility is not just towards shareholders, but also towards the environment and towards stakeholders like suppliers, like partners, and so on. And here you see some of our current solutions, some that are behind. But I'm actually here to talk about food tech innovation. So this is the next chapter. So this year is really important for us. 2022 is a year of breakthrough innovation for creating a new water taste. And yes, you can ask me, what is a new water taste? And I'll show it to you in a second. But we have 3 fantastic innovations, one called BeWater Active and Active Plus, that I'll talk about it in a second. But before, I want to share our project, which is called Be Big. And Be Big is actually when you go to large venues, large hotels, large conference centers, or big cruise ships, the amount of single-use bottles they are using is totally unbelievable. You have 1,000-room hotels that go through the equivalent of probably 100 flights back and forth from New York to Europe just in carbon footprint. And we want to solve this problem. We want to solve it with glass bottles that are capped and that are great looking, but those bottles with the cap in your room, in your restaurant, in the hotel, are refillable in the location on site. So we developed a packaging mini bottling site for glass bottles to bottle on site in big venues. Our first one is in Switzerland, in our hometown. Our second one is in Dubai before the year end. Our third one is in Paris before year end. And this is a big solution for big problems, and very, very happy to be offering that. What I'm here, because Johan likes innovation on a culinary base, what I'm here to talk is how can we make water even better than what it is. And this is the story of Active Water, what we call BeWater Active and Active Plus. So let's go back a second to nature and what you asked me in the beginning. So in nature, when water comes out of a source, it went through amazing geology. It went through the rock, it went through sand, it went through all the obstacles you can imagine. And this created a movement in water. This created, took also all the minerals that it went through. And basically, when water gushes out of a source, it is in movement. It is in what we call a vortex type of a movement. And it is activated by this movement. It means that the electrons of the water are running. H2O is not static. H2O is a three-dimensional expression of the water. And so the mechanical and gravitational force of the water creates this movement, this activation, and then it meets oxygen. And this moment of meeting oxygen is miracle of life, miracle of water. And actually, when you taste the water at the source, if you have this privilege of tasting water gushing out of its water source, the taste, the mouthfeel, the texture of the water is completely different. And this is what we have tried to do and actually achieved, replicating Mother Nature with what we call BeWater Active. So how do we do that? So first of all, we created something on a tap. So a patented technology that is allowing to have, first of all, one lever that does both still and sparkling. Nobody has thought about it, but still, one lever down for sparkling, up for still. Great user experience. But then from the activation part, what we have developed is an inside the nozzle, a mechanical spiral that actually activates the water mechanically and injects water to the air to the water, and this creates again what Mother Nature does. All this in a Swiss patented assembly, Swiss technology, Swiss precision, like Swiss watchmaking. It is a high precision technology, and embedded through a whole line of new dispensers, new water systems that go from what restaurants would need with 2 nozzles to what homes would need if you design your new home in a kitchen, I would suggest make space for a water unit just for your drinking water. And then if you don't have space in your new kitchen and the only place you have is your sink, then you have systems that will replace your taps in the sink, but that will have also our activated nozzle as a solution. So that's the first thing that we've done. And really iconic design. I think it will be a nice add to your kitchen design look. But then the other thing that we've done, and that's maybe the real innovation, is that we found a new technology how we can activate further the water in a carafe. And this is, if you help me to take it out, carefully.
Unboxing, this is my favorite pastime. Oops, I'll be very
very careful.
This is so delicate, it probably is. Here it is.
Magnifique. So this is a glass bottle which has a very specific thing at the bottom. It's actually a resonator. So if we go through what it is, it's a hand-blown carafe made by artisanal glass makers in Italy and in France. Then there is a Swiss-made disc, resonance disc, which is a coil, which actually takes all the electromagnetic noise that we have around us and transmit it as a signal to what's in it. It's the same technology. If you wonder how does it happen when you go to your H&M store here and it beeps because somebody forgot to go through the payment counter, it is the same technology. It's a passive resonator technology. The only difference with us is that we tuned it to have exactly the signal that is necessary, working with Nokia engineers and a lot of other engineers to make sure that the signal that is sent is the one that impacts the water in the best way. And so this is put at the bottom from the outside, okay? And together it creates an acceleration of the molecular movement of the water inside the bottle. And this is replicating exactly what happens at a water source when it gushes out. So, okay, that sounds like nifty technology. Maybe you believe, maybe you don't believe. A lot of the engineers ask me, but where is the energy and where do I charge it? Okay, fair enough. But what we actually have done is go to the ones who really count, and this is the people who can taste. Our friends from Umami can taste a lot. And we actually found that from people who have the ability to taste, like you taste wine, from enology experts, sommelier, of course, chefs, clearly there is a change in the water texture. The water is much smoother, silkier, has a roundness to it. It adds a very pleasure sensation, and therefore you drink more of it, which is important for hydration. But more importantly, it impacts our taste buds. It awakens our taste buds. It opens the taste buds. So it means that every other thing that you eat or taste next to it is accentuated. Whether it is wine, whether it is sauce, whether it is a ceviche, it will be accentuated. And that's fantastic to see with your local tap water that has been filtered. So very proud of that. Actually, when we talk to some of the chefs, the reactions we get is unanimous. You know, when you put it with red wine, whether it is a red wine with high tannins, you feel that the tannins have been smoothed. Whether it is a very fruity wine, you'll feel that the fruitness is even increasing. If you taste it with olive oil, which is some of the things we'll do downstairs, the taste of the olive oil, the aftertaste of the olive oil is smoother. The bitterness is gone. And this you achieved again with your local tap water. So that's our story. Where we see a big opportunity is first to make water participate in a gastronomy experience. Today, water doesn't participate. Today, water is on the table, you drink it as you eat, but it's not part of your gastronomy experience. Tomorrow, it can be and should be. Secondly, it can open the door for chefs to be creative and to understand what can you do with activated water. It does hold for a certain time. It can enhance any other taste. Often we are being told it gives me an umami taste. So there is many things you can do, and we want chefs and sommeliers' creativity. Sommelier, very important. You can probably jack up your drinks. And then the last and not least important, we want the restaurant business to value this experience, and so we can add more value to a restaurateur by getting the right return for this experience, and at the same time helping the environment by not shipping water from all over the world. So that's it.
That's it. No, my God, this is a new
last slide, just to
say last slide. Yes,
words.
of course.
So where are we with this? We will launch it now to only 4 really top 3-star Michelin's restaurants. 1 in the Nordic, 2 in France, and 1 in France and 2 in Switzerland. For the next few months, we let these amazing chefs play, experience, test, see how it can be used, not just at the table, but in combination with the amazing food they prepare. Then we will launch it to Michelin star chefs after the summer. And then we will be at CIRA, the big fair for gastronomy in January, and then launch it internationally. It will come with your home system as well a year later. So thank you. Thanks for having me here.
So
we will have a tasting.
You will have a tasting later on, downstairs, right? When?
We are there.
You're there. Okay, I mean,
there.
like, because this is tasting is believing here. The first
Absolutely.
time I heard about this, water is water, right? And then I tasted it, and I mean, like, I can see suddenly. So there's actually a mind opening here. You suddenly start thinking about food and water in a different
Right.
way, and the whole process. And when I tasted this the first time, 6 months ago or something like that, I could actually feel. I'm not a super taster, but I
Right.
could actually feel it. And I'm a simple person, and I'm cheapskate as well, right? So I never buy all those fancy red wines that sit in my cellar for a couple of years because I would drink them immediately. But if you drink a bottle of wine too early, the tannins are higher.
Right.
So this for me is actually a way to age a bottle of wine
It is.
in a very, very cheap and fast way, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's just me, because I can see millions and millions of
I can
applications.
tell you
for
a
this.
nice anecdote about it. I have a friend who's an Italian restaurant owner, and I went to see him. He's a friend, so I made him taste as well. And he was flabbergasted, but then he's a chef and an owner, so creative. And he said, you know, Mike, I need this just for 2 hours. I asked him, why do you need it for 2 hours? He says, I was with a stuffy nose when I had to buy my wine, so I bought wine blindly. Now I'm not anymore with a stuffy nose. Can I borrow your water and retaste the wine? And like this, I can return still the wine I don't want.
No, what I would try probably is to pour the wine straight into the bottle and see what
don't,
happens.
please.
I don't. Okay, I should.
We
Okay.
want to hydrate you,
Okay.
not to make you drunk.
Okay, very good then. So you will be down there. You can go and taste for yourselves, and I really, really urge you to do that, because it is again a mind-blowing experience, and rightfully also closed recently some serious money in order to be able to scale this as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. Happy to have partners that sit here as well that can support us. We closed the financing round to allow us to expand now to further countries. And we are attacking, as you saw, 3 different segments, and each segment has a huge potential, whether it is systems for your homes, whether it is, of course, high gastronomy, or the bottling lines for big venues. This demands a lot of scale up, and we are clearly in a scale up mode, and very happy to be
So-
in such a mode.
Exactly. I think so. To me, when you show that, and listening to you today has really taught me that water is not going to be in the future what we have seen it as. We will see water as something else. Thank you for coming here and
Thank you
sharing
very
that,
much.
Mike.
Thank you, Johan. Thanks.
So, will you please forget to take that bottle with you?
Will you undress here, or?